One good thing about 2020. I read a hell of a lot. Hey folks, my name is Jen, and today we've got something a little different. If you notice, the sound is a little crisper, maybe, and the video quality is improved. It's because Santa hubby got me a actual camera that I can use, so moving on up. So today's video is going to be all about what I read over the course of 2020. We're talking some stats, we're talking books by month. If this probably very long video doesn't interest you, sorry, I'll catch you in the next one. To start off with, I have some stats from Goodreads, and I also have my shitty graph that I use to keep track of everything. So let's start, first of all, with the stuff from Goodreads. So overall in 2020, I read 115 books. Full disclosure, a couple of them I did read twice in the course of the year. Just cuz. The shortest book that I read was The Type, which is a poem book by Sarah Kay, and it is illustrated by Sophia Janowitz. I apologize if I mispronounced the last name. And the longest book I read was Murder for Christmas and Three Other Great Mysteries by Agatha Christie. The most popular book I read was The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and the least popular was Back to the Future, the Heavy Collection, which is a collection of comic books by Bob Gale, who is one of the original creators of Back to the Future, as well as John Barber, Marcelo Ferreira, and Attila Fabio. My average rating was about 4.3 stars. Okay, so now we can get into what I've been kind of keeping track of otherwise. So I had a pretty good reading year. There were 48 5-star reads, 33 4-star reads, 20 3-star reads, 3 2-star reads, and 0 1-stars, which is great because it's been a few years since I've had a time when I didn't have at least one 1-star. I also had 7 books which were unrated, which is something that I just started doing this year for books that are more memoir or autobiography in nature, just because it feels weird to try to rate someone's personal reporting of their own experience. So yeah, I had 7 in which were unrated. I'm going to show you my graph. So this is my little graph that you can see here. And as you can see, my top categories were manga. I'm sorry, the writing down here is just really terrible. So my top categories were manga, graphic novel, and comic book, which was followed closely by mystery thrillers. Basically, for the year, I had 24 books that were under the manga, graphic novel, and comic book category, 20 that were mystery thrillers, and then 15 fantasy, which is a lot for me, followed by 11 nonfiction, 10 romance novels, 8 horror, 7 poetry collections, 5 literary fiction or contemporary, as well as 5 historical fictions. And then that was followed by 4 plays, 3 classics, 3 sci-fi, and surprisingly 0 adventure read this year. Also, I read 96 of my own physical books, 3 that were borrowed, 4 ebooks, and 6 audiobooks. If my math ends up correct, I am so sorry, but I did fail math in high school. And now let's get into what I read each month. In January, I read 7 books, which were Advanced Theta Healing by Fiona Stibble, Magic for the Resistance by Michael M. Hughes, Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, 5 Little Pigs by Agatha Christie, The Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, The Cold Dish by Craig Johnson, and The Light Fantastic by Terry Pratchett. In February, I read 3 books, which were The Vanishing Stair and The Hand on the Wall, both by Maureen Johnson, and 1-2 Buckle My Shoe by Agatha Christie. I also DNF'd 1 book this month, and it was The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. In March, I read 5 books, which were Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett, Stinker from Space, and Stinker's Return, both by Pamela F. Service, The Skin of Our Teeth by Thornton Wilder, and William Shakespeare's Get Thee Back to the Future, which is the Shakespearean version of Back to the Future, and this was by Ian Doescher. In April, I read 14 books, which were Back to the Future, the Heavy Collection by those folks that I mentioned earlier, Bob Gale, John Barber, and all those. It's a collection of comic books. The Adventure Zone by Justin Travis Griffin and Clint McElroy. And this is the volume Here There Be Gerblins. Black Canary Ignite by Meg Cabot, illustrated by Kara McGee. Also by Meg Cabot, from the Notebooks of a Middle School Princess, Royal Wedding Disaster, Royal Crush, and Royal Crown. Homecoming by Julia Alvarez. The Rain in Portugal by Billy Collins. The Type, B, and All Our Wild Wonder. These are all single poetry books by Sarah Kay, and they are illustrated by Sophia Janowitz. I also read The Odyssey by Homer, and I also read A Dad for Her Twins by Tanya Michaels. So in May, I read 15 books. These were The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, Aquarian Age Juvenile Orion, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and these are all by Sakuraku Gakuruquin. I also read A Wise Man Sleeps volumes 1 and 2, and these are by Mick Takeuchi. Then there was Good Poems, a collection of poetry collected and introduced by Garrison Keillor. The Mask of the Enchantress by Victoria Holt. They Called Us Enemy by George Takei, and this was illustrated by, oh goodness, pardon me, written by George Takei, Justin Eisinger, and Stephen Scott, and the art was by Harmony Becker. Ordeal by Innocence by Agatha Christie, and 3 Longmire books by Craig Johnson, Death Without Company, Kindness Goes Unpunished, and Another Man's Moccasins. In June, I read 5 books. Those were Fruit Basket Volume 6 by Nasuki Takaya, A Raisin in the Sun by Lauren Hansberry, and A Princess in Theory, A Duke by Default, and A Prince on Paper, all of which are by Alyssa Cole. In July, I read 15 books again. Those were I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, Almost American Girl by Robin Haw, Black Klansman by Ron Stallworth, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, Wishful Drinking by Carrie Fisher, The Reader by Tracy Chee, The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian, all by Rick Riordan, and Northern Borders by Howard Frank Mosher. In August, I read 14 books. Those were The Body in the Library, Hickory Dickory Dock, and A Murder is Announced, all of which are by Agatha Christie. Once Ghosted, Twice Shy, and Can't Escape Love, both of which are novellas by Alyssa Cole. Becoming by Michelle Obama. Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. Longborn by Joe Baker. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. And then volumes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of Fruits Basket, and these are all by Nasuki Takaya. In September, I read 8 books. These were Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend, God's Kingdom by Howard Frank Mosher, Pumpkinheads, again, by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, Ever Cursed by Corey Ann Haydu, Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie, The Clue in the Crumbling Wall, and The Clue in the Crossword Cipher, both by Carolyn Keene, and The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. In October, I read 11 books. Were The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Scary Stories 3, all by Alvin Schwartz, The Supervillain in Me by Danielle Bonas, Farmer Boy by Laura Ingalls Wilder, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, Too Much and Never Enough by Marielle Trump, Deeper Than the Dead by Tammy Hogue, Time and Again by Nora Roberts, and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. In November, I read 5 books. Those were Naked in Death and Glory in Death, both by Nora Roberts, The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan, The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal, and Greek Myths by Jean Menzies and illustrated by Katie Ponder. In November, I also DNF'd 1 book, Immortal in Death by Nora Roberts. In December, I read 11 books. So these last reads of 2020 were The Book of Three by Lloyd Alexander, Sleepy Hollow, the Old Christmas section by Washington Irving, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, Robert Venditti, Attila Futaki, and Jose Villarruba, American Born Chinese by Jean Lewin Yang, which I read twice, Ghosts by Raina Taljamir, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, which I also read twice, Water Witchcraft by Anne Wynne Avalon, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, Murder for Christmas and Three Other Great Mysteries by Agatha Christie, and The Black Cauldron by Lloyd Alexander. Oh, and I also read Poirot Investigates, also by Agatha Christie. I ended up DNFing 4 books, and these were Holiday in Stone Creek by Linda Lyle Miller, Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren, A Throne of Glass, and also A Court of Thorns and Roses, both by Sarah J. Maas. Whew, that was a lot of books. I tried to keep the pressure off this year by making my goal to be 52 books read. And then about halfway through the year, I ended up raising that to 75 because I was doing so well. And I still managed to surpass. My goal for next year is the same, 52. But I hope that'll mean maybe I'll read over 100 again, possibly. So that was my year in reading. Thank you for watching all the way through if you managed it. I'll see you in the next one.